Hunter is back. Togashi Yoshihiro, my shonen goat, is back in business. The shop is open, the line is going around the building, and the cakes are selling out. Hunter is back, and people are psyched beyond belief, including myself. Again, Togashi is my shonen goat. I put him over Akira Toriyama, rest in peace. I put him over Tite Kubo, author of Bleach, Yuki Tabata, the author of Black Clover. I put him above Kishimoto, the author of Naruto. I put him above the author of Toriko Totoshi. I put him up even yes, Eiichiro Oda, the author of One Piece. The primary reason why is not just because of Hunter, it's also because of Yu Hakusho, which is my #1 anime of all time, specifically the dub.
Guys just don't fight girls.
I'll fight with you. I don't care if she's a girl or a baby or somebody's grandmother.
The dub be moving different than the actual sub. Oh, massively different.
You pervert! What was that?
Now I know.
But the fact that Togashi made Yu Hakusho and they made another legendary story, Hunter? Absolute. You could argue very easily, it's not even hard to do, that Togashi has 2 series in the top 5 all-time best shonens in existence. Yu Hakusho and HunterXHunter. It is what it is. The man is studly, and I think he's warranted the crown of shonen goat. And the fact that Hunter can take years-long hiatuses and fans are still psyched and stoked for Hunter is proof fact of his greatness. The last time we had a Hunter chapter was in 2024, and there have been multiple year-long hiatuses since the inception of the story itself, given Togashi's health. But the fandom, even through the hiatuses, the fandom remains strong. People come back every time this man drops, whether it be 10 or 20 chapters. People flock, and I am part of that flock without question. And I'm looking forward to absolutely the new content that we're getting in the current arc. So much so that I've done recap streams on my Cole Requiem channel, where I do most of my read-through streams, and these streams are long. They're combining over to be 6 hours. It's a lot of content to be rolling through for the entire arc so far of Hunter. So check that out on that channel for sure. But the main topic of the video is not the current arc, it's Hunter and One Piece. I did see quite a few One Piece fans cheering on the return of Hunter on X, obviously X, and they're also berating the current content of One Piece. And obviously a lot of these folks who are One Piece and Hunter fans, they're not digging what's going on right now in the manga for various reasons, which I've covered in posts and discussions and so on and so forth. But the idea that Hunter is back, there's gonna be an immediate favoritism when it's back, but a lot of times when you get into the nook and cranny of it, the weekly, the PB&J, a lot of folks kind of get overwhelmed.
That's quite
and
big.
They're kind of like, let's take a little break, or we're not gonna get it too much, because Togashi's work is very dense, without question. But one of the things I've been saying for a while was actually discussed in a post that caught my attention on X, a post made by T-Boy, the main topic of today's video. Some fans believe HunterXHunter would rival One Piece if it never went on hiatus. One Piece and Hunter. If Togashi and alternate universe didn't have his back issues, and he could, from serialization in 1998, he could drop a chapter week to week and only have breaks during the normal magazine breaks, Hunter would rival One Piece. Here's the thing, this kind of gets deeper than you think, because I've had thoughts on this for a while now, very mixed thoughts on this, and I think it really does depend on the word rival. I've said before in the past, without question, Hunter would absolutely rival or even be better than One Piece if it could just be weekly. But my thoughts have changed for sure. They have changed over the course of the years, because One Piece has gone to a level that is unprecedented by any shonen series, even including Dragon Ball Z, which is, you can argue, the most iconic, and no, for sure it is, the most iconic and most popular shonen around the globe. But One Piece not only has had tremendous success with the anime, where the anime has made global numbers on levels you've never seen before, it's had the most successful live action adaptation of a shonen manga I've ever seen in not one but 2 seasons of the One Piece live action. And season 2, when that was ongoing, the view count for season 1 on Netflix also bumped into the top 10. So One Piece season 2 is at number 1, and then number 8 on the charts was One Piece season 1. Huh? Crazy. I've seen the fandom of One Piece explode over the decades, where back in the 2000s, being a One Piece fan is crazy work. But over the course of the decades, it's been to where the majority of folks that I see are shonen fans nowadays. When I go to cons or events, they tend to be One Piece fans. They're there in mass. And then it's things like the amusement parks or the collaboration with, let's say, certain restaurants. There was a Popeyes collaboration. There was a One Piece Popeyes collaboration as of late. Oh, what? A One Piece Popeyes collaboration? And One Piece has gone so popular and it's made so many waves across entertainment as a whole, not just in Japan but across the world, that it's getting a freaking remake. A remake called The One Piece that's gonna tackle East Blue stuff. Dog, there are longer running series than One Piece, like Hajime no Ippo, that don't even get even close to that level of love and fame across the world. They do not, but One Piece is that. Oda is damn near deified. He's damn near deified in Japan. And globally, his presence is starting to get to that level. And as of late, in terms of the number of sales, he is now approaching Harry Potter. So in terms of on One Piece's level, in those elements, it's hard for me to say that HunterXHunter, even if it was going on a weekly basis, it would be on that level. Keep in mind that in terms of chapters, if you compare One Piece now to the ideal HunterXHunter with no hiatuses, HunterXHunter has more chapters than One Piece. It'd be like somewhere in the 1,300, something like that. However, if One Piece had the ideal, it'd be more than HunterXHunter in terms of number of chapters, because it was serialized in 1997. So there'd only, let's say, be 20 some odd chapter difference between HunterXHunter and One Piece in terms of number of chapters. But in terms of the content amount, HunterXHunter would lose to One Piece. And there are certain things that One Piece does hit that I think reach a broader audience than HunterXHunter. HunterXHunter is dense and it's heavy. When you look at what's going on right now in the current arc of HunterXHunter, the chapter read-throughs are tough. You are scrolling through walls of text, and a lot of folks just can't handle that. It is what it is. When you're reading HunterXHunter, you're reading a novel like per chapter. That's how much text you can do in a chapter sometimes. And that hasn't changed. That has not changed. You can argue, in an ideal world, the number of text that he'd have to do per chapter would be a lot lower because he has more chapters out. But that's just my assumption. It could be the case here where HunterXHunter could be weekly in this ideal situation with no hiatuses, and you could still have the very heavily dense reading from chapter to chapter to chapter, because it's been that way for like a very long time. Yes, so every week you're reading a novel-sized chapter in HunterXHunter, whereas One Piece is pretty dense, but nowhere near as dense as HunterXHunter in terms of just the reading volume. When it comes to the paneling, One Piece is all over the place, but the paneling visually, you can argue is more stimulated compared to actually reading so many pages of text. So that's what you can argue in terms of the density of the read itself. HunterXHunter is less appealing than One Piece. Furthermore, One Piece does hit notes that tend to trend towards younger audiences. There's a lot of comedy, a lot of goofy and funny and quirky elements to the story of One Piece. Yes, it does have a lot of depth. That's obviously, all right? They target things like racial biases. They target things like slavery. They target genocides. There are so many different deeper subjects that you see in the series of One Piece, but you can't deny it too that a core element of One Piece is comedy, and they do have very quirky things that be very appealing to younger audiences. HunterXHunter is just way more graphic. The death toll in some situations is bonkers. Oh God. And it's not, like in a flashback. Or in flashbacks can do that too, but in real time he's timid and doesn't tend to do the mass slaughters that you do see in flashbacks. But in HunterXHunter, flashback, real time, future time, parallel universe time, it don't matter, bro. He be just murking dudes. Oh my God, man. Togashi be murking guys in the worst ways sometimes too. The most brutal, the most distorted, the most heart-wrenching. And mind you, it's not just adults, it's also kids, man. Like kids be getting murked in HunterXHunter. Murked. It's like, damn. Like in this current Succession war arc, kids are getting murked, man. It's like, god damn, man. And some of these deaths are crazy. I don't think a lot of people could stomach that. Just, it is what it is. Just how a lot of folks can't stomach Berserk, I don't think a lot of cats could handle the level of brutality that HunterXHunter exudes. It is a shonen, but for sure it's on the darker side. There's also another element I think is gonna be in One Piece's favor compared to HunterXHunter, and that is how the authors treat their main characters. In One Piece, you can clearly see that they're a tight-knit group, the main cast of characters, Strike Crew, and Luffy leads the charge for almost every arc. There are some times where we deviate for a long period of time, like the Oden flashback, other characters fights like Zoro or Sanji or Jinbei, or let's say we cut away to the other parties, like for example, Sabo and A Few Good Men in the Holy Land. So there are times where you do see that happen in One Piece, but in most cases, you do not see One Piece characters, the main characters, be left off screen for a long period of time. In HunterXHunter, it's very different. Because in HunterXHunter, they sort of tight-knit during the Hunter exam, but then there's deviations after, let's say, York New, where at that point in time, Kurapika and Leorio, they just don't matter for a long period of time. And we follow Gon and we follow Killua through Greek Island, through the Cameron Ant, and so on and so forth. And then Gon and Killua are gone, and we follow predominantly Kurapika as our new main character. Oh yeah, Gon and Killua, who I think people associate the story with the most, obviously. If the story were, let's say, to go on for, let's say, the same amount of One Piece, you would see batches of time where, let's say, we only have any of the main characters, where let's say be Leorio, or let's say Kurapika, or Gon, or Killua. You'd have, let's say, a focus on Gin Freaks, Gon's dad, and he's like the new main character for an extended amount of time. Absolutely, especially let's say it involves the Dark Continent. Oh yeah, absolute. The way the main characters work is not the same way as One Piece, and that may turn a lot of cats off too. Hey, I'm here for Gon. I'm here for Killua. I love Killua. I love Gon. Yeah, okay, cool, but it's gonna be a 4-year saga or a 4-year arc without Gon or Killua. And it's gonna be just Kurapika and Leorio as main characters.
What?
Oh, and then Leorio will get even still not that much screen time.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These are, I think, some core elements as to why, in the grand scheme of things, One Piece is just more digestible to a lot of readers compared to HunterXHunter, even though it has a very long time window. Keep in mind that because of, the pandemic, a lot of people have the time to sit down and read One Piece, and they did, and they watched it, and they loved it. They got sucked in. And again, the requirements for that from chapter to chapter, your understanding of the material and so on, are not as extensive. However, that's, I think, in terms of rivalry, One Piece on a scale is beating HunterXHunter. When it comes to quality of the content, though, this is where I gotta lean towards Togashi. This is where I have to lean towards Togashi Yoshihiro. The quality of the content, manga fans would know, the quality of the content is superior in many respects. They tackle very similar subjects, but Togashi wants to commit in areas where Oda does not commit. Like, for example, as I mentioned before, when it comes to fatalities, Togashi tends to commit. There are examples where he doesn't, obviously, like Kite, fair enough. But for the most part, if you're gone, you're gone. You're donezo. You're kaputs. All right, it is what it is. In One Piece is notorious for having what? Fake out death. Oh my goodness. How many times have we heard the issues of fake out deaths? The Will of P, whether it be Pedro, Pound, Peckham's, Pell, you name it, the Will of P is a meme in the community for a reason. Because a lot of cats be dying, quote unquote, and they come back and it's like, oh, honky dory. Like, wait, what? Come on, man. Whether it be in the cover stories, whether it be in real time, they come back, it's annoying as hell, right? Bone Clay, we thought was dead at the end of Impel Down. Come to find out, he's in level 5.5, running the show, Okama, way. The fact that Kinemon, oh God, I don't want to say it, bro. That one right there. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm crashing out. I need to calm down. Oh my God. I'm just, okay? Wano Country, Sword. Actually, Law didn't properly. Kill me, bro. Ugh. Medieval style. Mind you, what I just did there was the appropriate response to the Kinemon situation. In Punk Hazard, Virgo and Monet, they do die. But the people that were encased in the Karakuni, Caesar Clown's death gas, actually, they're not really dead yet. You have to kind of wait for like a few hours and they do die, but they're gonna be, you know, calcified and the poison. What? Meanwhile, you have York and you and Hunter. Franklin, Phaeton, Uvogan versus the Mafia dudes. Bite one guy's head off, split the bone of the guy, kill the other guy, and then one guy gets a sonic wave in his face. Even the good guys that are Kubrick's friends, they're getting killed off constantly. I mean, come on, bro. It's not even a contest. It's not even a contest. You don't have to worry about pal situations for the most part in Hunter x Hunter. You just really don't. Sometimes they do happen, I won't deny that, but a lot of times they don't. In terms of the world building, Oda is superior in world building, I think, only because of Togashi's hiatuses. I would say Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, and Toriko are the three best shonens in terms of world building. And the way it kind of works for me personally is that number 1 is One Piece, number 2 is Toriko, number 3 is Hunter x Hunter. However, once we get to the Dark Continent, I mean, boys, saddle up, man. Saddle up, dude. Will we get there anytime soon? But, holy Christ, the world building that Togashi did with the Chimera Ant arc was outstanding. And whether it be Gyro, whether it be the Chimera Ants themselves, where they come from, whether it be the Queen having 2 kids, whether it be Kite and his resurrection, all these kind of things, the world building is great, fantastic. But the setup for the Dark Continent, where every time someone goes there and then they come back to the human world, they bring out, like, let's say, a natural disaster back with them for the most part. Just the fact that the human world, our planet Earth, exists within a lake called Lake Mobius. And keep in mind, the current arc of Hunter x Hunter, the destination on paper to the masses is the Dark Continent. In reality, it's not even that. It's the outskirts continent of the human world. The real Dark Continent is so far to the east and all around them that the arc we're in right now isn't even gonna touch that stuff. Keep in mind, main character at that point in time will probably be, let's say, Jin Freaks. It makes the most sense by far and away. But there's another person in the Freaks family called Don Freaks. What exists in the world right now, the regular human world, is a book about the Dark Continent. And that book only covers the eastern shoreline of the Dark Continent. And Don Freaks hasn't even... No way. The Dark Continent is so massive. It's like a Jupiter-class planet. And you have guys that are exploring that, and the civilizations and the creatures and the environments, they could be their own series if Togashi had the time for it and he wanted to really do it. He really could do that. That's how expansive the world is. So the fact that Don, the ancestor of Gon and Jin, exists out there in the Dark Continent, and he's probably writing the Traveler's Journal West right now, and the East one's already there in the hands of the V6. And even when it comes to the Hunter x Hunter world as it is, there is a lot of depth to it without question. So, like, to me, in terms of world building, One Piece is superior, but only because of the hiatuses. Without the hiatuses, and we can finally explore the Dark Continent, we're finally getting more stuff about Don Freaks, we find out what's going on the West Coast, what's happening in the East Coast, actually, all kind of stuff. Yeah. And then in, let's say, terms of elements of character, I mean, One Piece has amazing characters, like phenomenal characters, right? But a lot of times I have to tend towards the Hunter x Hunter characters. So I'll say it's close. I know a lot of folks don't think that One Piece is like has good characters, which I think is crazy. Characters like Sanji, characters like Robin, characters like Usopp are very good characters, and they'd be very good characters on Hunter. But then there are other characters like, for example, Kurolo Lucifer. I look at One Piece and I'm like, okay, hold on. Who's better than Kurolo Lucifer? I don't know. I feel like Kurolo Lucifer is a phenomenally written character, and he's one of the best in Shonen. Hunter x Hunter tends to kind of follow the same trend as Yu Hakusho. We have characters like Shinobu Sensui, Togoro. It's like, bro, I haven't seen a guy on Togoro's level yet as a character, or Shinobu Sensui. I haven't seen that yet. Killua is such a strong character. It's bananas. And he's, I think, just as good as someone like Sanji or Robin, who I would say are the best written characters in One Piece. So, like, the level is close of character, but I have to lean towards Hunter x Hunter. Because, mind you, This is the ideal Hunter x Hunter. Without hiatuses, the characters only get deeper. Even compared to the level we see now in the story, the characters only get deeper. They get more fleshed out. They go through more moments, whether it be good or bad. With One Piece, in terms of character, the main cast of characters is so large. You have like 10 main characters, but for Hunter x Hunter, you only have 4. And actually, in most arcs, a lot of them, they're not even there, like Gon and Killua or Kurapika Leorio. It allows for more character focus on, let's say, side characters, antagonists, and the main characters themselves for that arc. So that's how it's structured, I think, in terms of character. Yeah, there's less characters, obviously, in terms of the main characters. Let's say you hail a Straw Hats, but you love Zoro. Okay, well, there you go. You love Zoro. Or let's say you love Brook or you love Nami. Okay, cool. In Hunter x Hunter, you don't have that, particularly the female representation. There are no female characters in the story of Hunter x Hunter. I know folks are going to say, oh, well, Kurapika's a trap card. Like, nah, no, shut up. Stop. Man's raw as hell. He's too studly, okay? For all you out there who are going to say, stop it, shut it down. The fact of the matter is that in terms of female representation, there's a lot of girls out there, a lot of women out there, they love Robin, they love Nami, they love Vivi, right? And because of those reasons, that's also attractive to the audience. Again, that's like part of the reach. Hunter x Hunter doesn't have that. So if you don't like Leorio or Kurapika or Gon or Killua, it's kind of like, then why am I here? But for One Piece, there's a lot of main characters to really jive off of, absolutely. But on the flip side, it also allows more room for Togashi to give a lot of depth to these characters. A lot of depth, like it's just a shocking amount. So I would say, in a general sense, when it comes to the reach and popularity of the series, Hunter x Hunter I don't think would rival One Piece. No, I think One Piece is just too good at that and has that formula written down like the science. Like it's Walter White Breaking Bad cooking. The formula is perfect. It is the most purest edition on the market. You're not beating that blue stuff, just not. But on the flip side, in terms of the quality of the content itself, like the actual story itself, I lean towards Hunter x Hunter, and that's why I'd say, okay, yeah, you have a rivalry there in earnest between the actual story of the series of Hunter x Hunter compared to the story of the series of One Piece. The fan base, I think, for Hunter x Hunter would be more mature on the older side, and there could be some gnarly adaptations of Hunter x Hunter, whether it be in video games, live actions, those are possible. But I feel like because the fan base of One Piece is going to be younger and there's more characters that people can jive off of, the market for One Piece is going to be just bigger by orders of magnitude. There is no Chopper-like character in Hunter x Hunter. The dudes are there. There are some chew moments, but for the most part, lock in. Lock in. That's Hunter x Hunter. It'll be more mature audiences for sure. It'll be very, very popular without question. But again, in terms of the market, One Piece is gonna be better. But in terms of the story itself, I think towards Hunter x Hunter. So that is my take on this subject. If you're a YouTube member, you gain access to this video first. So let me know your stance on the video at hand. And obviously, without question, if you are a regular viewer, then please consider, of course, subbing to your boy's channel. Make sure to click on that bell to join the notification squad. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up for sure. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.